Welcome back to another episode of the Real Health Podcast. In this series, we are interviewing clients of the Real Health Co., and we are just having discussions, conversations about healthy living, about their lifestyle, what they've grown through in terms of, coming from where we most of us come from, which is a model of sick care to a model of healthcare. And when did the transformation happen? And what are the stories? Stories are so impactful. Stories are so powerful. Stories provide us with hope and faith and allow us to kind of push through when there's seemingly, obstacles in the way. So, Eliza, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, your family. I love your family, near and dear to my heart. I'll tell you this. I've told you this maybe once or twice before, but I'll never forget it. Is when I sat down with you in your first consult, I cried. I had tears in my eyes.
I was going to say that. Yeah, I think we were in like that room.
2 rooms
there.
over. And I just had a heart for your family, had a heart for your sweet little girl, and I just believed in that moment. I really believed that, hey, she can be healed. She can be fully healed and fully restored. And so in today's episode, I guess my heart is just to hear your story. You have a background as a nurse, educated as a nurse, worked as a nurse, and then now coming from medical system, you're in this new model of healthcare. You're thinking about things differently. You're thinking about things differently for your family, for yourself, for your husband. So let's just kind of start with, when did you start to take a shift in I guess, taking ownership of the health of your family?
Well, I've always been interested in nutrition and exercise and wellness, and I actually have a degree in nutrition too. So I've always loved like the idea of food as fuel. And then in college, I decided instead of doing like an internship for nutrition, I wanted to go to nursing school. So I went to nursing school while Brent, my husband, was in dental school, and I worked as a nurse while he finished school at St. Jude on the leukemia, lymphoma, hematology floor. So I've always kind of loved like functional medicine, but I worked in obviously a hospital setting where you can't think like that all the time, just because of the diseases of the kids that I was caring for. So we moved back to Knoxville. Our son Webb was born in Memphis. We moved back to Knoxville. And then Grace, our daughter, is the reason why we are even here. We noticed she was sick. This was 2 years ago. She was 6 years old. She had some skin issues for about like 8 or 9 months that would ebb and flow. And she was just like itching all the time, waking up every night, just low-key miserable. She would have stomach aches at school, but she would randomly throw up, and we would treat it like a stomach bug, but none of us would ever get sick. And I took her to the doctor a couple times, and they just kind of diagnosed her with little skin rashes and gave us some red body shampoo to put on her skin, but basically said there's nothing really we can do. We just have to wait for it to go away. And so after a while, my husband Brent and I were just kind of like, this just isn't, something's off. Like this answer isn't good enough. Like there's got to be something else we can do. And so I was talking to a friend on the phone about it, and she has been a patient here for a long time, Callie Drummy.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, I'm going to see Barrett today. Would you... Because I sent her pictures of Grace's skin.
I remember her showing me
and
those pictures.
she was like, Eliza, this is so heartbreaking. And I, when you're in the thick of it, you're just like trying to do whatever you like. Okay, well, it looks a little better today, but then someone who's never seen it before, it's shocking. And so she was like, but what I think you should do is call the office and ask for a new patient appointment. So that was a Thursday, and then this was in August of 2022. We were sitting here 5 days later on Tuesday, and it was just me and Grace, and I just felt like for the first time, you truly saw her, and I remember you saying, this is a lot to take in. Like, there's a lot going on here, and I'm going to need to process some things. Like, give me some time. But then let's meet back up, just you and Brent. But like tears and, just you were very teary. And it was like, okay, I remember leaving and being like, I know, because I am a glass half full person. Like, I truly
Yeah, you and me
believe in, like, we will get through this. Like, there is always something to hope in. And so I just felt like we belonged here, and like there was a place for us, and that she wasn't going to be suffering forever. So a thing with this whole, obviously came in on the functional medicine side first, my family. So a couple of weeks later, we meet with you, Brent and I, and you had thought I'd come up with a plan, and we did 2 tests, and you were like, I remember you sitting there and you're like, but it's going to take a while for these results to get in. I'll tell you, if you want to do some things in the meantime, I would eliminate these 5 things. The most inflammatory, I believe it's gluten, dairy, processed sugar, inflammatory seed oil, and one other one that I can't remember. But we were like, let's just pick gluten. Like, that seems pretty easy enough. Yeah. And so we just started like right then, and we met with you in October, and her skin had already started improving. And so Brant, I remember before we even came to our appointment, he was like, I just think it's gluten. I think it's gluten. And then we met with you, and you also were pretty teary then. And it was like, you're like, I feel like this is a real straightforward situation. Mm-hmm. And I truly felt like we were not deserving of that, like God's goodness in that situation, because all we did was ask, like, just pursue another path.
That's right.
And, root cause, like, truly, we had to eliminate like 12 foods, but you were like, I know we can get those back, but we have to heal her first. Her brain and her nervous system is on fire. Her immune system is so crazy. Like, and so truly when we left that day, I had this peace. I was like, okay, we're all in, and it's not easy. And I will say, like, for people who think you're going to come and get this quick fix, that is not what you get. But we did it. I think we did elimination for 90 days. And then we also basically broke down the bad stuff, and we rebuilt her immune system. That's right. Essentially.
That's exactly right.
And but it's hard. Like, one of the things she couldn't have was garlic, and you can't really eat out anywhere because everything is seasoned with garlic. And so.
And tomato.
And tomatoes and eggs and gluten and like random random stuff. But those were the big things. And so, but you know, my husband and I had just never felt cared for like that before. So we were all in, and we did it. And we slowly, then, you know, you do the trial and error. Like, we're going to test her. We're going to wait 3 days when we were reintroducing the foods. And so now today, she has everything back but gluten. Yeah. And I mean, I look at our path, and I'm like, I wouldn't do it any other way, because like the trajectory of her life, both like physically, emotionally, everything has been changed because we got to that root cause. And I just am so grateful. Yeah.
I'm a glass half full person, but when I meet with clients, I'm careful, because I want to provide false hope. Right. But, I remember when I was like, hey, I think this is as straightforward as it comes. It was so great to see the fruit of making a couple changes and the immediate results. And it's what's beautiful about. So I have a heart for kids. It's because kids have this innate ability. There's so much grace within their bodies to heal so quickly. And so you just start to take a couple shifts and yes, they are hard. But how much harder would it be?
Amen. It's worth it.
Right? How much harder would it be to sit there and, how many times a night would you put something on her skin?
Like, she would come in at least 3 or 4 times a night.
I mean, that's hard, And
get calls from school all the time. She's hard. Itching. Her belly's hurting. And
that's hard.
Yeah.
And then not knowing.
You have to choose your heart.
You have to choose your heart. And when you boil it down and you make a shift, within usually 30 days, but sometimes up to like 60 days. Once you're in it, then you're like, well, this isn't even that hard anymore.
It's all about perspective.
So much is true in that. So as you started shifting the perspective for your daughter, how did that start to shift perspective for the rest of your family? Did it start to spill over?
Well, so I was in it with her. I was like, listen, if you can't have like it, I didn't want to be like, oh, here we all are. We're going to go eat gluten all in your face.
Let's go have pizza.
Yeah. So we kind of did we were all in with the cooking and the meal prepping. Like, really, you can do all of the things and avoid gluten. You just have to know what you're going into ahead of time so you can grab something that benefit your life, or you can make it ahead of time. And so I just have learned to ask those questions. But I mean, for our family, I feel like transitioning more over to like chiropractic care, I remember that was one of the things you were like, now these are the things we need to do for her. But another thing that would be really beneficial to bring into the tool belt would be chiropractic care. And I had always thought about it, but I didn't really know. I mean, I didn't know much about it.
Sure.
And so, but when you build the rapport that we had at that point, and I truly
trust.
like never seen anyone love or care about my baby, my child, the way that you did. And this, I think, is true for Brent, especially because, you know, part of me was like, oh, I'm usually like a little bit farther ahead with like the functional holistic stuff. And then he's like, oh, okay, whatever. But I'll never forget, we were on a run and I was like, I made us, you, me, and Webb, all new patient like assessments because Grace had already done it. And I was like, waiting to hear what he was like, well, yeah, we're doing that, you know? And it was just like, but when you build rapport with people and you truly care, they see the value in what you're doing. And it's like, and in my head, I was like, well, Brent, I mean, it makes sense for you to go, especially he's a dentist. And I mean, how many times in 2 years has he come to you with his back locked up or his neck locked up after a big case? And so, I mean, our family can just speak to the benefit of coming to see you guys for so many different reasons. But that is number one for him, I think. But also, just like, I think it was an easy yes for our entire, because I think maybe sometimes people might have just said, oh, well, Grace is the only one that needs that. But for him, for us, it was an easy, like, well, I can see the benefit and the value in that for every person in our family.
Yeah, it's so good.
And I love that, like, you guys are just part of our weekly rhythm. Like, we go to Armor, me and the kids, and Brent comes here, and I love the routine, and there's just always something that you can help me with.
Yeah, I think. You know, when you think about chiropractic, immediately you just think, you know, maybe pain or aches or injuries or whatever.
It's not.
And so when you start to apply it in different settings, you see the fruit of it. And it's sometimes the biggest challenge is everyone has a challenge. And when you lay out these pillars of, hey, what's your sleep look like? What's your nutrition? What's your movement? What does caring for your nervous system recovery look like through chiropractic care? And you lay out these pillars. There's usually one that's like, ooh, I don't know about that. And but as you start to kind of dive into it, you realize, oh, wow, I feel so much better when I sleep 8 hours a night. Oh, wow, I feel so much better being off these inflammatory foods. Oh, wow, my body's just responding so much better now that I've been under chiropractic care.
It's all connected.
It is. And it speaks to the truth that healing is something that should be supported from so many different areas of our life because we are physical, emotional, soul, spiritual bodies. And we need support in all those areas. When now speak to you for a second. You're an incredible runner. You almost broke sub-3 marathon, right?
I mean, it depends on what you define as almost, but
is 304. 304. That's
36.
Yeah, to me that's almost sub-3 marathon, which is what's that minute per mile pace?
7:03.
That's incredible. Well, so you've been running for years.
Well, so I played soccer my whole life. That was my first love till I was 18, and then kind of ran loosely in college, and then did my first half marathon my senior year in 2008, and I've been running ever since. So
yeah. So what have you seen in your body? Through chiropractic or change your nutrition or starting to look at your health differently?
Oh, well, I mean, I love it when I'm in the meat of a training cycle. If there's been a hard workout and something's talking to me, I'll come in and I'll be like, hey, this is like my hips talking to me. And then you'll be like, oh my, you're so like out of alignment. Like, and so I feel like that weekly rhythm of coming, especially when I'm in those high volume, high intensity weeks, kind of can intercept little things, little flare-ups, and keep them from being big things. I'm so passionate about nutrition and fueling well. But I feel like adding in the chiropractic care has just kept me. I don't, there's no knock on wood, like, but I'm so confident in what I do each week and how I train.
Yeah.
And, and Mary's both of our coach, love her. But I just feel like the way that all of those things work together keeps me running, because that's what I want to be doing. That's something that is uniquely mine, and it has brought me a community of people that I love dearly.
That's so good.
And I feel I love challenging myself. I love goals, and so coming to see you every week, and sometimes more often if necessary, but it has kept me running, and I feel like it makes me a better wife, a better mom, a better person, and it's a passion of mine, and so I feel confident in knowing that if anything comes up, I'm just like, hey.
So one of my favorite things is walking with patients weekly, because now I know their lifestyle. I know what they're doing. I know what they're not doing. And so every week I'm just getting this new baseline of here's where they're at this week.
Yep.
Here's where they're at. I know that they were sick 3 weeks ago. Hey, how you feeling? How you recovering? Versus trying to get all of that information in a meeting because we haven't met for 2 months.
Right. And that's what I would say.
And that's the hardest part is, okay, now you're telling me the symptoms came back, but I don't know what's happened the last 3 months of your life. And you say nothing's changed, but you've been, sick twice, or you've been stressed because, or, whatever the variables are. But when people say, "Oh, nothing's changed," that's not true.
Not true.
Something has changed.
Yes.
So it's a lot easier. Personally,
Yes.
it's selfish, but it's so much easier
Well,
to
but
get
it's
that
easier-
weekly check-in.
It's easier for me too, because we can go and we're checking in every week, and I'm not in there you're not in your appointment for very long, but it's enough to catch up. And
That's right.
And when you see people every week, you are walking with them through
That's
life.
right.
And if it's a hard season, you sit with us. And I remember one time I was like, I don't want to take up too much of your time. Like, I know you have 50 other people, and you're like, here's the deal. If you need me, I'm going to sit with you, and I'm going to ask for grace later. Because the reality of it is somebody else is going to need me, and then I'm going to ask for grace from you at some point. And so that's just how we do things here. Good. And I was like, you know what? I love that, because you see people and you're with people. And when you can form that kind of patient it just is, it's so valuable. And there have been so many things, even with my kids, when they're like, oh, if they feel sick or something, like, we need to call Barrett. We need to go see Barrett. And I love that is our baseline. I think that both, the functional medicine and just modern medicine, I think it's both. They can coexist. There's a time 100%. And a place for both. And the thing that I love is the functional medicine is our foundation. That's what we do on an everyday basis. But we are going to get sick. Things are going to come up, and there is going to be a need for that other avenue. And it's not there have been times where both of my kids have had to be on antibiotics for various things, for different things over the course of 2 years. And it wasn't ever oh no, don't do that. Oh gosh. It was okay, yes, I agree. And this is how we're going to support their bodies through this. Yeah. And I love that, because I don't feel like it needs to be this great disconnect.
That's right.
And I feel like we can do a better job of saying the way that we approach our family's life is we want to live in such a way where our bodies can handle being exposed to sickness, and it doesn't take us out for a very long time. And we want to value these pillars that you talk about, and and impress those on our kids, and model that for our kids. Because that's our greatest calling right now in this season, is to love. My kids are 11 and almost 9, and I want them to grow up and do wonderful things, but also we get one body. Yeah. Let's treat it well, and let's do good things. And so, but all that can be connected through all the things that are talked about in appointments with you every day or every week when we come.
And it's so encouraging. Yeah. It blesses my soul. It really does. It blesses me to just sit here and hear you talk, because when you're hear this right, but when you're on to the next patient, you care for the next patient, right? And
Absolutely.
you care for the next patient, and you sometimes forget about the miracles and the blessings in other people's lives. And it's so good. It's so refreshing. So So thank you.
Well, I mean,
for,
I like we can't
Yeah.
imagine our life without you.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
I mean, truly.
Yeah.
Because when I look back to 2 years ago, we were just kind of like picking, like, oh, well, hopefully this will go away soon. But what if we hadn't have listened to that little nudge?
Come on.
And so where would she be now?
Yeah.
And like and so I just would encourage people, if you have that little nudge, just come on over to the functional medicine side.
Yeah. You know, what's funny is I was going to ask you, like, you know, how would you encourage moms out there? I asked a question with moms, and I said, hey, when the doctor says it's just anxiety or it's just this, what does your heart say? Because a mom's intuition.
Listen to it.
Yeah. And it there's value there.
God gave it to us for a reason.
Yeah. So.
But I mean,
good.
I would just say definitely, like, if something feels off, keep asking, keep challenging, keep questioning until you find, even if it's like not a conventional path, which is not what we did. And I'm so thankful.
That's so good.
Because I have a picture of you and Grace at Armor in front of that
Healed wall?
Healed, and it was on her birthday. And it was like she had gotten all the foods back but gluten.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's such a gift. I think that we're just grateful all the time for so many different reasons for you. And we try to tell you a lot, so I hope you know.
I do. Sometimes it's hard for me to hear. So, but today, I definitely heard your heart.
Well, good.
And so, yeah, it's been an honor to care for your family. Just your story is it's captivating. It's capturing people and their hearts and what moms struggle with. So, thanks for adding value to our listeners. We appreciate you so much.
Thanks for adding value to us.
You got it. And so, hey, this kind of wraps up our patient interview series. So, way to go out with an amazing story. So, thanks, Eliza, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thanks for listening to another episode of the Real Health Podcast.